Hi there, how's it going? The World Cup is getting ever closer, and we here at Sporting Bet are getting tremendously excited about that. We're counting down the days. We've got some great promotions up on the site at the moment. Take a look at sportingbet.com. You've probably seen our £100,000 group giveaway. It's been running for a few days now, and that, of course, is we'll give you up to £100,000 if you can correctly predict the first and second in all 8 of the first round groups. We're taking a longer term look today, Mark, aren't we? Mark, we're here, my colleague here. We're looking at who's actually going to win the damn thing on July the 13th. And we'll start with the favourites naturally, of course, and they're going for a 6th World Cup. The country bleeds football. It's Brazil, of course, 11-4 favourites. Will they be celebrating July the 13th, Mark?
Well, I think they're understandable favourites. I think that's fair enough. But I think 11-4, for me, it's not a bet. They won the Confederations Cup quite comfortably last year. Of course, that got a lot of optimism and confidence brooding around that team. But they did that, of course, twice before in previous World Cups and flopped as World Cup favourites. Over-reliance on Neymar and Oscar in the attacking field. Centre-forward Fred's been ravaged by injury this season. They've got quite a tough path to the final two.
Yeah.
I looked at the host nation as well. France, the only host nation in the past 8 World Cups to win the World Cup. 10 of the 19 hosts have actually achieved their best ever results, 4 of which equalled it. So there is some stats in their favour here. I just think 11-4 is a price I want after the round of 16, not outright from the start.
Okay, interesting. What about Argentina? They're next in the bet, 19-4. Won it famously in 1986, finalists in 1990, but struggled since then. Never really got in the deep end of the competition, but they've got a fantastic team of them.
They have, well, up top especially. I mean, it's probably it's easily the best forward line in the competition.
Yeah.
Coach Sabella seems to have finally found a way to work Messi into his team, and Messi performing well for the national team as well. They're a team that can go the distance. I really don't know. I've been saying this in the office all week. I don't know why I don't fancy Argentina. I really should. They're 19-4. We went best price at one stage this week. I'm just not sure I want them. The draw has worked in their favour. They've got a fantastic draw. They avoid the hot climates as well. The weakness is in defence, but I just look at them. They've not made it past the quarter-final since 1990.
Yeah.
They've only won 1 knockout match in 90 minutes since 1990 as well. They're just 2 of the sort of stats I don't like about them. I can't tell you why, but I won't be back in Argentina.
Okay, 21-4, just over 5-1. Is the price for Germany to win the World Cup. Now, for me, Mark, I thought Germany were absolute stick-ons to win Euro 2012, but of course they lost in semi-finals in emphatic fashion against Italy. So they've lost a wee bit of my trust, to be honest. What about you?
You're not alone there, Chris. I think the German public as well, they're starting to mistrust Jogi Löw. I think they've got a slight reputation for bottlers now. I've gone off Germany especially. A fantastic array of midfield stars, but the issues are in defence and arguably up front as well. Defensively, they're shipping loads of goals. They weren't that convincing in qualifying at the back. Up front, they've got Klose, who's now 36. Mario Gomez is struggling with injuries. They may have to play a false 9 to fill that void. They scored 3 or more goals though in 9 of their 10 qualifiers. It's just those doubts of the defence. I just can't have Germany at that price either.
Indeed, and what about Spain? Incredibly, the most dominant, perhaps the greatest ever international team. 4th favourites here, Mark, 11-2. They won Euro 2008, they won the World Cup in South Africa, they won the European Championships again 2 years ago, but still written off here as 4th favourites in the bet, and 11-2. Is that wrong?
Amazing, yeah, I think it is. Spain are the bet for me. Incredible squad depth across the whole squad. There is a sort of doubts over the hunger of the team, the condition of the team after another gruelling season. You think Barcelona, you think Real Madrid, and now Atletico Madrid into that as well. They average 74% possession going through qualifying. They should retain the ball absolutely superbly. So what's the defence really going to come up against in this competition? And then you look at the defence, which is being questioned. Casillas, Carvajal, Piqué, Ramos, Alba. That's your back 5. Just throw in Sergi Busquets. I just don't see where the arguments are coming from. They've only lost 3 competitive games since 2006. They haven't conceded in the last 10 knockout games either. They're the best bet out of the front runners for me. The only thing going against them is the fact that Brazil in 1962 were the last team to retain the World Cup.
Interesting. Yeah, I think when you get a team that's so dominant internationally and in club level, I think bookmakers and punters are desperate to try and take them on, find an angle to take them on. That's probably the case here with Spain. Those 4 teams take the bulk of the outright market. But we're going to take a look at some of the other sides. And Mark, I know you're itching to talk about 16-1 Belgium. Why?
As big as 500-1 4 years ago, Chris.
Incredible.
But quite incredibly, they're now 16-1. Even more incredibly, we've laid a £50,000 bet on Belgium to win the World Cup.
Sheesh.
The golden generation. A load of punters are getting right behind them. squad filled with sort of top level experience. For me, there's a feeling that Hazard has never really performed for the national team. Benteke's injury has been felt harder than probably a lot of us expected or even imagined. The centre backs are susceptible to pace, of course. Sorry, the full backs, which are centre backs. Yeah. The draw's been perfect though. The longest flight they've got is 35 minutes. They've got a fairly modest group as well, but Germany or Portugal are lying in wait in the knockout round. So for me, they're going home early.
Interesting. Let's talk about some of the other sides lower down the betting than Mark, because we always see a team go far in a competition, an unlikely team. You know, you think back to Sweden and Bulgaria in '94, got to the semis, Croatia in '98, Turkey in 2002, and of course last time out Uruguay getting to the last four. Of course, we're only paying first two in the betting, but there must be sides here, Mark, at big prices who might have the potential to get very, very deep in the competition. Anyone caught your eye?
A couple, yeah, Chris. I'm a big fan of France. They're 22 to 1. I think they seem to tend to leap from triumph to disaster. Yeah. If the trend continues, they should have a good World Cup. Didier Deschamps is a good manager in my eyes. I think he's got rid of the bad eggs in that squad. Yeah. The team ethic is back. The pride in the shirt. The spine of the team's as good as any in the competition. They're not really expecting to do anything in this World Cup as well, which has got to count in their favour. Elsewhere, Portugal, another price I'd consider, although it's been slashed in from 40s to 25 to 1 now. Portugal, again, strong spine of the team, good tournament experience. They're very difficult to beat. Of course, they've got Ronaldo as well, X Factor. Colombia are out to 33s. They're not really something that interests me. Chile at 40s. Defensive concerns, you could say. But the one I'm going to pick out, quite a big price here, at 100 to 1. Oh. I think Switzerland deserve a pound each way, in my eyes. The draw's against them. They've got to go to the hot climatic conditions in the north. But they're heading to Brazil early to acclimatise to those conditions. Hitzfeld's an incredible, meticulous planner of a team. He'll have that team ready. They've got a glittering array of talented youngsters and experienced heads as well. I can see them topping that group. It's not beyond their means, and then anything's on it, really, if you think about it from the quarterfinals on. And I love this stat. They've only lost 4 competitive games since 2000 and... What is it? 8?
6 years.
6 years. My maths is terrible. Switzerland's 100 to 1. I think. Why not?
I love the attitude, Mark. You're a dreamer, and I salute you for that. But I've got to pin you down here. I want you to give our viewers one outright pick, one strong outright pick to win the World Cup, and a dark horse. And don't say Belgium.
Spain at 11 to 2. They shouldn't be 4 favourites. They should be higher than Germany in the betting. Sure. And I'll go France at 22 to 1.
There we go.